Her story, first of all, is incredible, and she survived and should be a beacon of hope to everyone, because I think it's really easy to think that once someone disappears that they're gone forever and kind of write them off as dead. But I'm here. Tanya's still here. We're not dead. Do not give up. But also beyond that, I feel like her story is a perfect example of a vulnerable child where a predator finds her and grooms her. And the team worked so hard in trying to show the different steps of grooming and how it happens in layers. It isn't just you see someone and you take them and that's grooming. I mean, it's a whole process. It's identifying a vulnerability, it's isolating that child, befriending them, making sure that you are that number one person in their life, giving gifts, making them rely on you, turn to you always number one, until eventually you can do whatever you want without any fear of repercussion, and knowing that that child will always keep their mouth shut. And I felt like Tanya's story just illustrated that so perfectly. And it's an area that I feel like is often misunderstood.
And undefined. I think people hear the word grooming and they just don't get it, and they think it's white noise, and they really don't know that depth and meaning that you just put to it. Because I think about you a lot and what you endured for 9 months, basically wanting to survive every single day and having 1 or 2 people who were responsible for that survival. So I think you're the perfect person to get into this project. I also think, what was it like for you to sit down with somebody who had such a similar experience, such a rare and similar experience to your own experience? What's it like to sit down and speak with someone about that?
For me, I mean, it was I just felt like we understood each other on an emotional level. I mean, when she was talking about how she felt, different experiences, that maybe some of the details of our own personal experiences are different, but a lot of the emotions she expressed, I was like, yeah, I know exactly how that feels. I know exactly what you're talking about. That was my life. That was my story as well. And so that, for me, I think is also just another reason why sharing these kinds of stories and doing these kinds of projects are so powerful, because for as isolated as people may think that Tanya's story is or my story is, it's actually really not that isolated. It really is more common than any of us would want to believe.
Big differences between you and Tanya as well. Your family, so dedicated, so loving, so moral, so principled, and they never stopped for a second looking for you. Tanya's family, on the other hand, really a difficult upbringing, a father who I think effectively may have blamed her, for her own abduction. How do you come to terms with the differences there and yet the similarities?
That I think is one of the most heartbreaking parts of the story. And I think for me, that's why I have chosen this path in my life, because I do have that support. And honestly, I think what it comes down to for victims who really thrive in life after they've survived comes down to that support network, whether you had it before or whether you can find it after. And fortunately for me, I mean, I had both before and I've had after, which I feel like allows me to speak out and to share my story and work on these kinds of projects. And for Tanya, I mean, she did not have that support. And amazingly now, she has found a wonderful man and they're happily married, and he supports and loves and adores her the way that she deserves to be supported and loved and adored. And I mean, I think it's just a tragedy of life, and actually a story that is far too common.
I always wonder about your path. Not everyone would have the strength to do what you've done with your life, and that is dedicate your life to helping others who are in these vulnerable situations. But I also wonder if you sometimes in your quiet times refer back thinking, God, I wish I had another path. I wish I could have done something so different. I wish none of this was part of my life, and I don't want to do it tomorrow. Like, do you ever sort of just have those moments?
Well, I am only human, of course. I mean, of course I do. But I guess it always just comes back to, this is where I feel like I can make the most difference. And I know what it's like being on the other side. and I know what it's like to come back and experience all of the emotions that go along with being a survivor and a victim. And I know how isolated and alone I felt when I came back, even though I was surrounded by love and support. It still is when you go through sexual abuse, when you go through abduction, when you go through that level of manipulation, you still feel like you're alone. And for anyone who's watching this, who has experienced some level of abuse or manipulation or rape or kidnapping, I want them to know that you're not alone. And so I guess I'll just keep on staying on this path.
What an incredible life's purpose. You're a hero. I just adore you, and I'm so proud of you. And I'm just so glad that you are who you are and that you're healthy and adjusted and are doing so much, for other people. Thank you so much for doing this tonight. Thanks for coming on.
Thank you.
The Girl Locked Upstairs, the Tanya Kach Story, and Beyond the Headlines, the Tanya Kach Story with Elizabeth Smart. That premieres June 8th on Lifetime. And by the way, I just want you to know, she still has that harp. She still has that harp. Famous picture. She said her mom sold her car to buy her that harp, and she's never getting rid of it. She says she plays it every so often, but not as much as she used to. Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation on your television provider, and don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.